into BQ Conversations. I'm your host, Niraj Shah. And the conversation today is about how our consumer trends, not for the staples business, but for which have been, well, for a manner of speaking, hit hard by the pandemic. You can't go out and eat. You can't go out and have coffee. You obviously can't go out and drink, or for that matter, even buy drinks in certain places. So how are those businesses coping up with this? What are the innovative methods that they've come out with? And when normalcy returns, what is the sense of the kind of business growth that can come back? And what is the sense on expansion plans? Because I'm guessing a quarter of cash flows is quite a bit for all of these businesses as well. So we thought it's best to get in somebody who's got his hand in a niche business, which is liked by almost everybody that I know. Starbucks. The name obviously rings a bell. Let's get Navin Gurnaney to talk about how is he seeing the current landscape and what could happen going ahead. Navin, so good having you. Thanks much for joining in. Hope all is safe.
Good to see you, Niraj. Thank you for having me. Yes, absolutely. Safe is indeed the word of the day or the week or the month, right? I mean, safety is our number one priority as we begin to open up more and more stores. So we've got 190 stores. We actually opened 2 new stores in last, brand new stores. Yes, kudos to the team to work to having been able to work through this COVID situation. So we out of the 190, 130 stores were actually open. Now in the city of Bombay, in Mumbai, dine-in is still not permitted, but everywhere else, dine-in is permitted. And our customers, there's a deep connection. We are so fortunate, a deep connection our customers feel with us. And they've been dying to come back. And they are back in good numbers. We're really happy to see the response post store opening. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, safety is our number one thing. So that is actually what is helping us deliver I would say very, very optimistic performance, right? Because people know that the safety protocols that we have in place are exactly what they'd like to see. Usually I get about 15 to 20 text messages from friends and relatives who live in the area in near Starbucks stores and say, hey, I went to your store and I tried the new Frappuccino, or I tried this new food item and it was delicious. Thank you, blah, blah, blah. Now all the messages that I get are all about, I went to your Starbucks store and I was extremely impressed with the safety protocols, and I'll be back because I feel like this is a safe place. So when a customer arrives, our partners will take their temperature. There's a sanitizing station. You've seen that. So they come in. They can come in now and stand in line. The line is, there are foot markers 6 feet away from each other. Our partners are wearing masks all the time. The partners that take the order are also wearing a glass shield. We are sanitizing all surfaces every 30 minutes. Everything gets sanitized. And we're also requesting, and I'm going to make this request through your show also, requesting our customers to indeed keep their masks on. Right? I know it's not exactly convenient, but you can move it away a little bit and take a sip and then put it back. Because in the cities where people are sitting in the cafes, it's important that they maintain all those practices as well. So we are very happy to see the way these safety protocols are being executed, and they're being appreciated.
No, so let me. Okay, so I'm hoping, by the way, that this comes back to normalcy sooner rather than later, because it's great for everybody, including customers of Starbucks like me. But here's the question. To my mind, Starbucks is as much about the products that a customer consumes as it is about the in-store experience. Because frankly, in terms of the coffee stores that are there in the country, you probably set the benchmark. So therefore, was this quarter particularly difficult for you in that sense? Or did the online sales channels mitigate that pain? It would have mitigated to some extent, but was it significant enough, or was it just and attempt to kind of keep things occupied.
Your hunch is absolutely right. This quarter was extremely difficult, right? No one has seen this sort of situation before. As you might remember, for the several weeks, our stores were shut, completely shut.
Yes.
And then we've taken a very thoughtful, very careful, graduated approach, right? And at first we started only delivery. For a couple of weeks, we did only delivery. And then as things got better, then in some stores where the conditions were right, we started doing takeaway. And that was a bit of a surprise to me, actually. People were so sort of eager to get away from that cabin fever that we started seeing a very good amount of traffic because of takeaway. And then when dine-in opened, more and more people have started to come back. Now, I'd be lying to you if I said that it's all gone and then we're back to our February level of transactions. No, that is not the case. But I'm very pleased with how week after week after week we are seeing sequential improvement, right? And I tell you, kudos to our partners for the connections that they have made for all, with the customers all these years. Our customers actually miss coming and interacting with the partners, and our partners actually miss seeing those customers. So through the lockdown, they've been sending them messages on their cups when they order delivery. Right? Thank you for trusting us. Looking forward to seeing you soon. And then we did some electronic things also. So, for example, if Niraj ordered, a vanilla latte, right? As soon as Swiggy indicated that the latte has been delivered, an electronic message would go, a text message would go to Niraj from the partner at that store saying, 1 vanilla latte for Niraj, just like they do in the store. And customers love it. They feel like, okay, this is giving me some hope and feeling that now we're slowly getting back to normalcy. So it's the connection with the customers and the partners that is making us see a large number of people coming back.
So it's heartening to hear that week on week the things are improving. I for sure would not second guess that things are back to normalcy. But can you give us a sense of where you are operating near normal on the store operating hours, if you will? Is the like-to-like sales or occupancy, what have you, about 30-40% of normal, or is it 50-60%? What is it?
So again, I can't go into those numbers, right? Because that would be inside information. But I'm happy to tell you a couple of interesting fun facts that actually blew us away too. There are stores in India, in different cities, that are actually doing more business than they were doing pre-COVID.
Wow. Why so?
Yeah.
Just wondering.
That's something that surprises me too.
Okay.
Why so? I have a theory about it. People are very eager to get out, right? Kahin to jana hai. I'm going to go to a place where I feel like they know how to take care of my safety. The safety is the number one thing, right? It's our number one priority for our partners. It's our number one priority for our customers. And we will not do anything to jeopardize that. So people see us in action. People see the execution. People see how partners are conducting themselves, consistently taking care of all those protocols. And they feel like, okay, I can only speculate here that some people who may have been coming to us 3 or 4 times a week, 3 or 4 times a month, are now coming in 5-6 times a month in those particular stores I'm talking about. So I'm very, very optimistic. I've always been optimistic about it. It's taken a little bit longer than I thought it would take, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay. So I appreciate the fact that you may not want to exactly give me numbers. Let me try and ask you that at the start of not at the start of the calendar, because by then we were already into COVID, but let's say, at the start of the calendar, not at the start of the financial year. At the start of the calendar, you would have had some thoughts of how the stores would progress. You were probably at 180 end of March. You had 190, as you said right now. You would have thought of what you would be at December. Now, because of the business impact, are those plans getting a bit changed?
So let me tell you one more fun fact. Through COVID, through this year, right? Through the lockdown in partial lockdowns, right? Not entire lockdown. We have opened 2 stores in Chandigarh. One of them was the very, very much talked about drive-through. You probably saw pictures of that all over the internet. Those pictures have gone viral. I don't think any other store in India has received as much attention as the drive-through in Chandigarh. It's a beautiful, beautiful building, doing, extremely well. Day before yesterday, we opened 2 more new stores in Lucknow. So, in the month of August, this is going to be slightly sensitive information, but I'll tell you, in the month of August, we will open 6 more stores. So we've always been very bullish on the India market. India is a very important market for Starbucks and for Tata. Right? As you know, we are a joint venture between Tata and Starbucks.
Yes.
We're extremely bullish on the India market. Our customers have embraced us so substantially since we got here, which gives us the courage and the license, if you will, to continue, keep moving onward. And as they say in cricket, our intention is not to go on the back foot here. Our intention is to go on the front foot. So while we may not exactly meet our store growth plan because cities are closed, material is difficult to get to, and so on and so forth, but it's not on account of lack of belief in the future or lack of optimism. It'll be more to do with the logistics of the whole thing. And the COVID is a reality. It's there. It does slow things down. Right? One of the stores that we have in construction, actually it's complete, almost complete, is at the Statue of Unity in Gujarat. That store would have opened in March, but we haven't been able to open it for a number of reasons. Gujarat's also been going back and forth with the open now, shut now, start, stop. But we continue to forge ahead in the general direction of our plan, and that is to be thoughtfully aggressive in India. Thoughtfully aggressive.
Interesting term. Okay. Couple of questions then before we wrap. One is like everybody else, and probably the breakfast options that you've probably tried to increase, etc. Would you reckon that via multitude of things, including products for non-edible products for sale, the merchandise, so on and so forth, the per store revenue, even in your mature stores, has a chance of moving up? Or is it the growth will largely come in? New growth will largely come in from the newer stores. How would it from the less mature stores? How would it happen? How does it typically happen? Sorry.
In fact, I was going to say that in any healthy business unit of Starbucks that I'm familiar with, it has to be a combination of the two. The stores have to organically continue to grow, right, through additional new customers and additional transactions. They have to continue to grow through the a greater number of offerings in the store. You talked about merchandise. We have a whole, there's a lot going on there that you'll hear about soon. And through new stores. So it can't just be about new stores. The existing stores have to continually prove that the unit economics are alive and kicking, as it were, are working. And it has to be both store comparable store sales growth as well as new store sales growth.
Okay, but you're not making a distinction wherein the newer stores might give you better ROI or so on and so forth. No, it'll come. I know it will come into a combination, but I was just wondering what will be the bigger contributor.
I think it'll be, again, I won't go into numbers, but as I'm thinking through the question in my head, needless to say that in a growing market like India, right, the number of new stores that get added on, like for example, in 2018, we added 30 stores, right? At that time, our base was less than, was about 110, if memory serves me right. So you're talking about, a 30% addition to the number of stores. So naturally, a good chunk of your growth is going to come from those stores. Having said that, the existing base is also continuously growing and is contributing substantially. So 2018, we had 30 stores. 2019, we built, our plan was 36 stores. We actually exceeded that. 2020, this year that we are in now, actually fiscal 2021, I should say, our plan is to beat that again. Okay. Our plan is to beat that again, despite the difficulties with COVID. So we're very optimistic.
Okay. One last question, and whether or not this actually works in your favor. Almost everybody's of the belief that commercial rentals have to come off, rates have to come off, everything as far as real estate. Do you sense that in your negotiations, etc., that you're getting that advantage?
So, again, I won't go into specific negotiations that we had, but we have a fantastic relationship with our landlords, right?
No, sorry, Navin, sorry. Maybe you misunderstood. Okay, so you've given me an opening. I would want you to dwell on that too, but part two of my question is for the newer stores that you will start off. Would you reckon that the acquisition cost, the rental cost for that large space might be a lot lower than what you earlier envisaged? So two-part question, existing and the new one.
Again, so your question was more about the new ones. Rent is a function of the quality of the location, right? And you heard people, I know I've heard people in my family say all the time that good real estate will always command a price, right? Having said that, are there ups and downs? Of course there are, right? And anyone who's in business understands that, right? So we pick good real estate. At the same time, the relationships that we have with our landlords are long-standing ones, right? We have less single store relationships than clusters, right? We have relationships with all mall owners, right? And everybody understands the landscape. People are smart. People know each other's economic models, right? And I think it's been a great collaboration between our store development team and their leasing groups, where they've come forward and say, how do we find a solution to make sure that your business is surviving and our business is surviving as well? So have there been adjustments? Of course, but that's not something that I can obviously not discuss with you on this call here.
I get your point, but I take on board the point that largely there could have been some revisions downwards, but obviously the details cannot be forthcoming. But more importantly, I love the optimism, and I do hope it pays off richer dividends than what you envisage right now. Thank you so much for speaking to us today.
Well, thank you, Niraj, and I owe you a cup of coffee soon after all this is over.
100%. On the other side, see you at the Red Chili store. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And viewers, thanks for tuning into this conversation.